Lost at Sea, Rebecca Curiam and the Disney cover-up. Before casting aboard the Disney Wonder, Rebecca was an Army cadet, a student and a volunteer at Camp America. Rebecca was young, fun, and constantly looking for adventure. She was sporty, she loved life and loved to travel. She had previously coached children in the USA and had ventured far out into the world from humble beginnings in Chester, England. In June 2010, Rebecca interviewed for the Disney cruise position. After being hired, she went to Florida for training. Rebecca had a personal tragedy during this time, which was the passing of her grandfather. This caused Rebecca to have to return to the UK. During this period, Rebecca frequently travelled between the USA and the UK for her family affairs before departing on the Wonder. It was aboard the Disney Wonder that Rebecca was last seen and mysteriously vanished. The boat was en route to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, when Curiam was last seen on video footage on March the 22nd, 2011 at 5:45 in the morning. She was walking on the deck, talking on the deck phone, visibly upset in the footage and acting distressed. At one point a fellow crew member noticed her and appeared to ask if she was okay. Rebecca was seen to be mouthing in response, "Yeah, fine." It is unknown who Curiam was speaking to on the phone at that time, and Disney claims that no recording exists. Curiam then failed to turn up to a 9 AM shift that morning. Disney staff searched the ship and contacted both the US Coast Guards and the Mexican equivalent, but this did not draw any clues as to what happened. They then continued their voyage with no break to search for Rebecca. The cruise continued unabated. Rebecca's father, Mike Curiam, said that Disney disregarded standard operating procedure and didn't turn the ship around to look for Rebecca, and when coordinates were given to the Coast Guards, they were incorrect, and thus the Coast Guards searched the wrong area of the sea. The jurisdiction of the case got quite murky. It was an American company departing from America and yet registered in the Bahamas while sailing on international water. And in true bureaucratic fashion, nobody wanted anything to do with the case. American investigators did not get involved, and the Korean family had to hire private investigators. The Royal Bahamas Police Force was the lead in this investigation. The ship was registered there for tax purposes. The term investigation can be used very, very loosely. They did not investigate, and whatever investigating they did was shambolic. They assigned one detective to the case. His name was Paul Rowley, and he spent one day aboard the Wonder. Rowley interviewed just 6 of the 950 employees and 2,000 passengers. The investigation seemed to be carried out in line with Disney's wishes, and Rebecca's parents were given the Disney treatment during their intervention in the case. The ship's captain told Rebecca's parents that it was likely that Rebecca was swept off by a rogue wave. The parents were then shown the evidence of a sandal that belonged to Rebecca, probably to further deepen their side of the story that she was swept ashore. The sandal was not Rebecca's size. Disney claims to have no footage of Rebecca going overboard and refuses to disclose the number of CCTV cameras or their locations for security reasons. Investigative journalist John Ronson went aboard the Wonder to look at the potential locations where Rebecca could have been swept aboard. The only feasible spot where Rebecca could fall off was deck 4. The entirety of the deck is littered with CCTV cameras covering every inch of the deck. The other decks have railings much too high for Rebecca to fall over. John Ronson determined that if Rebecca fell, it would have to have been deck 4. That is, of course, if she fell. Rebecca's case was raised in the House of Commons by her MP Stephen Mosley. Mosley said Disney were more interested in getting the ship back to sea than the missing crew member, and called the investigation toothless. It was obvious from all sides that Disney did not want to touch this case, and they brushed Rebecca's disappearance aside as quickly as they possibly could. Rebecca was allegedly in a relationship with another crew member. An unnamed crew member told journalist John Ronson while he was aboard the Wonder, "It was a very, very intense relationship. It was great and then it was awful. I can't think of any other reason she'd be up and wandering around at 6 AM. Another crew member noted that Rebecca spoke on the deck phone and said Disney knows exactly what happened. The phone call she had, it was taped. Everything here is taped. There's CCTV everywhere. Disney has the tape. In 2017, Tracy Medley, Rebecca's girlfriend and colleague aboard the Wanda, broke her silence about the events and claimed that Rebecca had engaged in a threesome with a male friend of Medley's, and this could be linked to whatever upset Rebecca just before her disappearance, as it had happened the same day, allegedly. But many close to Rebecca refused to believe that she took her own life. Evidence of potential foul play does exist, including a ripped pair of shorts within Rebecca's personal belongings in the cabin. Some law enforcement has suggested that this could have resulted from a struggle and potential sexual assault before Rebecca vanished. But what with the farce of an investigation, what can we know further beyond the scant facts? The evidence was not scrutinised at the time. Disney may very well know, because they more than likely have a filing cabinet of computer folder with the footage, the phone call, and Rebecca's last known whereabouts. But why would Disney dare to risk their reputation as being the happiest place on the sea? Information of Rebecca's fate is out there, and we need to keep looking.